What's up guys, Coach MANdler here, Team Swole Patrol. In today's Flex Friday routine, I'm going to share with you a couple different tactics and exercises you can plug in to bring yourself out of a bench press rut if you're the type that's getting pinned at the bottom of the bench. Now, most raw lifters, guys that don't lift in bench shirts, are typically going to get to where they bomb at the bottom of the bench. And when that's the case, there are a couple simple reasons and a couple of things you can do to make sure that's not the case anymore. Number one thing I tell people to do to make sure they're getting the most out of their bench is obviously going to be perfecting your form, making sure you have efficient movement patterns and that you're not experiencing any of those power leaks that cause you to get less than what you're worth. Making sure your levers are aligned and that your form is crisp is the fastest way to make sure you're getting the most out of your bench press and your true strength capacity. Second is going to be really simple. You can't get stronger unless you lift some heavy ass weights. So do not bitch out and be afraid of lifting heavy weights if your goal is to get stronger. You simply will not get as strong as you possibly can without getting under some heavy weight and getting your body to adapt to producing more force, and that's pretty much it. That's all strength is. Getting your body to adapt to producing more force in the movement that you're trying to get stronger in. And you can't do that if you're afraid of lifting heavy weight. And the third thing you can do is start viewing your failures on the bench as nothing but solutions in disguise. And what I mean by that is this. When you're bombing at the bottom, that typically tells me a couple things. A lot of times I see dudes just lack tension in their back and try to bounce the bar off their chest, and when that's the case, you're gonna bomb on the bench. And it also tells me that you lack a lot of starting strength that is a result of strong chest and anterior delts. So what we do with that is this. Number one, fix that fucking form. And two, plug in exercises that will address those weak points so that they're no longer hindering you from lifting those big ass bar bending weights. And what we're going to do today is show you one of my all-time favorites to very simply address this issue of bombing at the bottom by getting you to create and develop more starting strength at the point that you are failing. All right, so the way we're going to do that is doing a 5-rep max with a pause bench press. What that does, by pausing at the bottom right here at the chest where that bar is hitting, kind of at that nipple line in between there and the top of the rib cage, is it's completely eliminating that stretch reflex and the elastic energy that you get from it that kind of assists and kind of catapulting, if you will, the weight off, and makes it to where all you're doing is just working on raw strength out of the hole. So things like that address the weak points and force you to stay tight, because at the bottom of that pause bench, we want to stay as tight as possible in our back, shoulders, and our chest. That's what's going to really make the difference with your bench. Getting stronger with things like this, specialty exercises, will have a dramatic impact on your performance when it's time to hit that 1-rep max on your bench press. Try this routine out, let me know how it goes for you, and make sure to leave your questions and suggestions for the next video in the comment section below. Alright, so as I mentioned, the first thing you want to do is fix your form. And once you get your form fixed on the bench press, that's going to prevent any power leaks. But really, the first thing you can do to prevent any power leaks is to make sure your core is properly engaged with the lift. Look, the bench press is not just some magical upper body meathead solution for building a bigger chest. When it comes down to it, you have to start thinking of the bench press is really a total body movement. And one of the things that a lot of people that really bomb out on the bottom of the bench don't realize is you can get a lot of hip drive at the bottom of the bench, which will definitely assist in giving you that pop out of the hole. So one of the things I like doing is making sure my core is properly engaged, because you got to think of your midsection, everything surrounding your spine, your core, as the muscles that are responsible for a clean and crisp transfer of force between or from your lower body through your upper body. And when your core is properly engaged with a circuit like we just did, it's going to make a big difference. And then carrying that over into the speed work we did with those clapping push-ups, it's going to make a huge impact on your performance with the bench. So no longer are you going to shit the bed on weights that you should be getting. Now I know this is just me going for a 5-rep max, which by the way I only got about 3.5 reps with, but nevertheless I know exactly what I'm doing here. My objective is clear. I put my body in the best possible position to produce the most amount of force and address one of the weaknesses that I've got with my bench press, which for me, being a raw lifter, I am bombing at the bottom. So holding it there at the bottom of the bench is going to dramatically increase the amount of maximal strength and overall speed I can put into driving out of the hole. All right, so objective there is simply to dissipate the stretch reflex and the elastic energy that helps with, and by completely dissipating it with a pause on the bottom for a good 3 seconds, dramatically improving that. And speaking of improving the bench, if you're bombing out on the upper portion, the lockouts, definitely hit up those close grip benches. Great way to not just build a stronger, more explosive lockout for a bench press and overhead press, but also to build some big ass sleeve splitting triceps too. And because, like I mentioned, it's not just about your chest, it's also about your interior delts for building a bigger bench press if you're failing at the bottom. Throw in these overhead presses, strict press first, then the push press to just maximize that time under tension. So not just working on weak point strength, but also building more muscle. And also just throwing in these cheat rows. These are going to be great not just for building a bigger bench by increasing your stabilizing strength that you get during the eccentric portion of the lift, but it's also going to get you some big ass lats and upper back too. And because Flex Friday wouldn't be Flex Friday without a little bit of work on the pipes, doing a quick little tricep to bicep superset here. This one's going to be a clutch one. I absolutely love these. Doing some incline close grip bench work. When I'm doing these, I'm actually kind of pushing the dumbbells together so you get a little bit more upper chest work as well as working the long head of those triceps. And then just finishing that superset up with some good old-fashioned hammer curls. Working the biceps, the brachialis, and grip work, of course, because we're choking the shit out of those dumbbells. And to completely finish ourselves off, what we're going to do is finish up with just one set of pull-up still failure. By this point, everything above the waist was absolutely just fried, and my shoulders were pumped to the max, so I figured I'd take it a little bit easy. Instead of doing either a pronated or supinated grip, just did a neutral grip. Felt great, driving those elbows down, pulling them into my back pocket, and that is a perfect way to not just get a lot of work in your arms, but a shit ton more in your lats as well.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out today's Flex Friday routine. If you digged it, then do me a solid, hit the like button and subscribe. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to pick up your free copy of the Muscle Building Blueprint by clicking on this button right here or going down to the description area of the video and clicking on the first link that you see. When you click on that, I'll take you to another page which outlines everything you're going to be getting with this kick-ass free gift, as well as what it's going to help you with as far as your programming for, building more size, strength, speed, explosiveness, and the ability to look good while being able to kick ass too. So to get that free, just click right here or in that first link that you see in the description area, and I'll take you to the next page, which breaks it all down for you. Appreciate your time, guys. Have a good one. MANdler.